So when it comes down to my own healing journey, this is something that consciously started in 2003. And this is when I met my first mentor, who I would later go on to learn Reiki healing and NLP with. And since that time, I've worked with numerous therapists and healers and done many different courses. And each person I've worked with and each course that I've taken has played a big part in my own healing journey. So after all these experiences and all this time, there are a number of things I have learned about the healing journey. And what I would like to do now is to share some of the lessons that I have learned over the years. And what I can say is that if I was aware of these points in the beginning, I probably wouldn't have gone down the path that I went down. But at the same time, if I hadn't have gone down this path, this route, it wouldn't have been possible for me to share these lessons with you now. So to start off with the first point, the first one I've got down is that not everyone is going to be able to support you on your healing journey. And there can be a number of reasons why they can't do this. But for whatever reason, they won't be able to do it. And this doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them or even that there's something wrong with you. And there can be a number of reasons, such as you talking about what you're going through could trigger things for them, and perhaps they don't want to face these things. So by not being there for you, it allows them to avoid themselves. The second point that I've got is that some people may invalidate what you're going through. So you could talk about the wounds and the challenges that you're working on and working through. And some of the people in your life could tell you to simply move on or to get over it, or it's not that bad. So they will basically be invalidating what you're going through. A term that is often used these days has become popular in recent years is the term gaslighting. And this is slightly different. But it relates to the experience of being invalidated. So if you do find that some people do this, or there's a person in your life that just tells you to get over it or to move on, they can't empathize and be compassionate towards what you're going through, then it might be a good idea for you to create some space between you and them. You could open up to them directly and ask them why this is, but it will all depend. But what this comes down to is that not everyone, again, is going to be able to be there for you. And another point 3, is that it will be important for you to not neglect other areas of your life and to nourish the areas, the interests that you have that bring you happiness and fulfillment. Because if you cast all these aside through focusing on working on yourself, you can find that you end up feeling even worse, and that your inner challenges end up growing and expanding. And again, this comes down to what we focus on grows. So it'd be important for you to pay attention and to nurture the parts of your life that make you who you are. And step 4, what I've got is that for a little while, you may find that you feel worse, not better. And this can come down to the fact that if you have been avoiding certain parts of yourself and now you're facing them, it is only natural that you will feel worse for a while. And number 5 is that through working on your wounds, and this taps into the point before, is that you may find that your life gets worse in the long term and it doesn't improve. And what this can show is that the method or the technique you are using or the person you're working with to assist you is not allowing you to move forward. It is simply causing you to become more attached to your story. And this is then why your life can get worse. Because by focusing on certain things, and these things not passing through, you're not being able to clear the wounds that come up, you get more entrenched and you can get more caught up in your past. So again, if this happens, it will be a good idea for you to take a step back and see if you need to try another approach. And number 6, and this goes into the previous point, is that to your ego mind, what is familiar is what is classed as what is safe. So although consciously you can want to move forward and to let go of certain feelings and areas of your life that are not serving you, to this part of you, to your ego mind, these feelings and these experiences can be what is classed as safe. And it doesn't matter that what you want to let go of is holding you back and be causing you a lot of problems, because to this part of you, it's familiar. So to change it, to let go, even though you will feel better, it can be interpreted as something that will cause you to die. So through keeping this in mind, it can make it easier for you to see if you are actually making progress or if you are just simply going over the same thing again and again, because there is, as I've said, this part of you that will want to keep things the same. And number 7 is what is often described as a healing paradox. And this comes down to what we resist is what will persist. So through having the need to heal yourself, you can end up making it harder for you to heal because you will be attached. And this again comes back to having other interests, doing your best. And I understand when you are in a lot of pain, it can be incredibly hard just to let go. But through keeping this in mind, it can make it easier for you to not get too attached. And number 8 is a bit of a bonus lesson here because I didn't mention this in the original article. But number 8 would be that you may find, and I suppose I've touched on this in a way, is that some of your relationships will come to an end. And this is because these people won't be able to be there for you. They won't be able to support you. You'll be different. And while you'll be working on yourself, these people won't be doing that. And this could change further down the line, but at this moment, they won't be willing to do this. And to add another point, number 9, which in numerology is number for humanity, so that's a big number. And to go along with that, number 9, I would say to see the big picture. So there are things you're working on, but also keep in mind how you want to live your life, how you want to serve others. And this again will stop you from getting too attached to your story. Focus on what you can offer to the world. And right now you might not be sure, but there is something that you can do that will make a difference in the world. So after hearing these points, I hope that it has given you something to think about and assisted you on your healing journey. And if you need additional support at this time, one of the ways that I can do this is through the consultations I offer via Skype or Zoom. And if you're unsure about taking the next step, I now offer free 15-minute consultations. So if I can assist you, please reach out.